and I could see and like feel my body floating from the ceiling, or like my spirit, I guess, floating from the ceiling down into my body.
Wisdom Wayne, so insane. Been through shit you can't explain. Wisdom Wayne, so insane. Tell me what is on your brain. Tell me what is on your brain. Yeah.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Wisdom Wayne podcast. I am your host, Matt Velvet, and today we are talking about my terrifying sleep paralysis experience. The first video slash episode I did for this podcast was about my Ouija board experience, and a lot of people seem to like that one and want to, find out more about that. So I thought I would kind of continue on this series of doing like creepy or paranormal type of things. So yeah, let me know if you want to hear more about this or anything different in the future. Just let me know in the comments below. So first, we'll start with a little history of sleep paralysis. So sleep paralysis is a state where your mind is awake, but your body is temporarily unable to move or speak. Hence why they call it sleep paralysis. So it usually happens as you're falling asleep or waking up during the transition in and out of rapid eye movement, aka REM, sleep. In REM, your brain temporarily shuts off most voluntary muscle activity so you don't physically act out your dreams. Sleep paralysis happens when your awareness switches on before your body's muscle control returns. The key features people often report are an inability to move or speak for a few seconds to a couple of minutes, a feeling of pressure on the chest or difficulty breathing, vivid hallucinations, visual, auditory, or even a sense of a presence in the room, and strong feelings of fear or dread. It's fairly common. Many people experience it at least once, and usually not harmful, though it can be very frightening. Common triggers include irregular sleep schedules, sleep deprivation, stress, certain medications, and sleep disorders like narcolepsy. So that's a little background about it. And I was kind of curious of how long this has been happening in history. And it seems like since people have been sleeping, it's been happening. So before science could kind of like explain, the things about REM sleep and, stuff like that, people usually associated it with like something more mystical. So in Mesopotamia and Babylonian times, people believed night demons called Lilitu, I guess is how you pronounce it, were related to Lilith in later Jewish folklore. So they believe that this demon, Lilitu, oh my god, I just got a notification on my phone while I'm recording, and I don't know, I thought something popped on the screen and it scared me. So this demon, I guess, they thought that it attacked sleepers, especially men at night. So in ancient Greece and Rome, the experience was linked to the god Pan, or spirits that caused panic during sleep. Physicians like Galen describe the condition as ephialtes, meaning leaper upon, imagining a creature jumping on the chest. And there have been paintings and stuff like that that depict like a little demon on your chest. So I'll add that in here to show you as well. Scandinavia, the mare, a malicious spirit, was thought to sit on the chest of a sleeper, suffocating them. This belief gave us the word nightmare. In Japan, known as kanashibari, bound in metal, that's what that means. It was thought to be caused by vengeful spirits or curses immobilizing the sleeper. In China, they had I can't pronounce that, but it's a ghost pressing on the bed. People believed a ghost was holding them down. In Africa, in various traditions in Africa, often attributed to witchcraft or ancestral spirits. In some Western African cultures, it was thought witches left their bodies to attack people in their sleep. That's really scary. Middle Ages in Europe, people described the old hag, which I've heard a lot about this. The old hag who sat on the chest at night, stealing breath or even the soul. This became a very widespread explanation for the experience. And I think that is probably what the photo is referring to, the old hag. So I'll include that. But yeah, I've seen a lot of videos and I've heard stories about people and their experiences with sleep paralysis. And a lot of people say they experience seeing a demon either on their chest or in the room with them, or like some kind of shadowy figure. Luckily, I never experienced that because that sounds really creepy and scary. But a lot of people do experience that. So when I first started experiencing sleep paralysis, it was when I was in college living in Orlando, and it was when I lived in this particular house that I started experiencing it. And that, I think that's like the only place I really experienced sleep paralysis was in that house. And it happens to be the same house that I was doing a lot of the Ouija board stuff in, and that I had a lot of the experiences from the Ouija board. And in that house and that time was just very creepy, and yeah, the energy was like wild. So in my mind, those two are related, but who knows? I was still drinking and smoking weed at that time. I was working a lot, going to school. My sleep schedule was not great. I would get up early for work sometimes, and a lot of the times the sleep paralysis. Oh wait, actually, I did have sleep paralysis in a house besides that one, the one I lived in after. That was in Orlando as well. But ever since then, I haven't experienced it, and that was like 10 years ago. So, yeah, I would get home from work and like kind of take a nap after I like smoke some weed or whatever, and like either before I was going to sleep, like before I was actually falling asleep, or when I was about to wake up is when I would experience it. And a lot of the times it would go along with that feeling of like falling in your dreams, that kind of jolt back into reality. It would kind of feel like that as well, or go along with that kind of feeling. I just remember I would wake up, I would look around, I would see my room, but I couldn't move, and it was really scary. And like, what's going on? I had never heard of sleep paralysis before, so I was just like so confused and wondering what's going on. I remember most of the time I would like I didn't have a TV in my room during those times for whatever reason. I had a TV in my freshman dorm, and then I had a TV in the apartment I lived in my sophomore year, and then after that, when I was like living in houses with people, I just didn't have TVs for whatever reason. I just didn't really care. And even now, like, TVs aren't a huge deal to me. Like, all the TVs I have, I think, except for one, I think I've only bought one TV myself, but the rest are like from my brother usually, or my mom. So anyways, yeah, if I watch stuff, it would be on my laptop. So I would have my laptop in bed a lot, so it would always be next to me, and my phone would be next to me. So when I would be experiencing the sleep paralysis, a lot of times I would try to reach for my phone or my laptop to kind of throw it across the room to get someone's attention, because I thought, like, if I get someone's attention, then they can come save me. They can come wake me up, or like, bring me back to reality. That was kind of my thought process, but it never worked because I couldn't move my body, and I would really try to fight it. I would try to just like keep fighting it until I was able to move or get up or whatever, but that didn't really work either. I just kind of had to wait until the effects wore off, I guess. It was very terrifying, and it was around the time I was playing around with Ouija boards and really into this creepy, macabre kind of stuff. Going to see psychics. I have a video about going to Casadega to see psychics, and I saw a psychic recently in Savannah. So check those videos out on my channel if you haven't already. But yeah, I was just really into this kind of stuff, and I think it's because I was trying to find something to believe in after I was kind of like kicked out of church. and kind of dropped my religion. I was like, well, what can I do now? What can I believe in now? So I was searching for that, and I tried all these different things and was really open to a lot. And that kind of like led me to some interesting places. I haven't done this in a while, but I forgot to plug in the microphone before I started, so I'm going to do that now. So we're just going to keep going. Sorry about that. So, yeah. I was searching for some kind of answers, something. Not really religious, but still kind of believed in God. Believed in spirits and angels and demons and stuff like that. I guess I believed in that, And so the sleep paralysis for me felt very like dark and more demonic than anything. Just probably because I couldn't understand it. I didn't, like I was doing all this stuff that's like low vibrational, playing with a Ouija board, exposing myself to that kind of stuff. Whether you believe in it or not, I guess I believe in it enough to the point where I will never touch a Ouija board again, so that's saying something. Yeah, it was really scary, and there was this one time in particular that, and around this time too, I started learning more about lucid dreaming and trying to get in the habit of being able to do lucid dreaming, which I learned a lot about from my roommate at the time. And I started looking up videos about it on YouTube, and I started lucid dreaming. And I remember the first time I experienced lucid dreaming, I remember I was kind of like flying to this really beautiful crystal blue spring, and I remember there was like this ledge, this like kind of rock formation ledge over the water, and I would just like leap off of it and fly above the water. And I was like, I would go on top of buildings and just kind of fly around. And yeah, so I was doing that around this time too, just kind of, I was all over the place with like kind of this metaphysical stuff, and doing meditations and stuff like that. There was this one time when my lucid dreaming and sleep paralysis kind of combined, and fused together, which was pretty trippy. So I was, laying in my bed, laying on my back, and I was kind of waking up out of a sleep and felt some sleep paralysis, and I could see and like feel my body floating from the ceiling, or like my spirit, I guess, floating from the ceiling down into my body. And that's the only time I've ever experienced anything like that, but it was like really trippy and scary. And I was like, after that, I was like, I don't know, I don't want to like lose my spirit in the dream world or whatever. Like that movie Insidious, I really like those movies, the Insidious movies. And that's kind of like the whole premise of the film is, this lucid dreaming, but getting lost in the dream world. And so I was like, I don't want that to happen to me. So I kind of gave up on that after that. Because I'm like, yeah, this is too weird for me. I kind of want to do some more research on remote viewing and maybe dive into that and do a video on that or something. I don't know if I want to try doing it because that sounds scary, but it's something I'm really interested in and something that's really intriguing. So if you guys want me to do a video or a podcast episode on remote viewing, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's about it for my experience with sleep paralysis and lucid dreaming. It's really scary. I don't recommend it to anyone. I'm really thankful that I haven't experienced it since those times when I lived in Orlando, and I hope I never do again. But I would love to know from you guys if you've experienced sleep paralysis or lucid dreaming. I would love to know about your experience, so let me know in the comments below. And until next time, thank you so much for watching the Wisdom Wayne podcast. I am your host, Matt Velvet. Bye.